Welcome everyone to Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the daily fail, meme review, software releases, hardware releases, websites by plebes or plebs. Let's go take a look at the numbers. At the time of this recording, the block height is 700,853. The Bitcoin price, 47,670. Chain rewrite days, 846. Total public Lightning capacity, 2,610.46. The new sound.
Okay, cool.
I'll give you the file. It should be in our notes.
No, I have plenty.
Okay, no, but I mean, there was a specific file that we chose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, but hold on. I'll finish the numbers here. Sats per dollar, 2,098, and the blocks to the halvening, 139,147.
Man, that was a big, dude. That's 100 Bitcoin jump in the Lightning capacity.
Massive in less than it was less than 24 hours or about 24 hours since we last recorded. So there you go, over 100 BTC on the Lightning network.
Phil, this is like,
well, publicly. We don't even know adding the private nodes.
Dude, this is a man. Because we're in this weird, unique position where we see it every single day, right? And man, the pattern is undeniable, right? This thing has been, the Lightning Network capacity has literally grown nonstop, for the last since June, really. Like, bro, it was stuck at 1,000 for a very long time, fluctuate above and below, right? And then it's just been going up like crazy, man, So that makes me really bullish, man, because that is an extremely necessary second layer. And it adds to another component that I've been saying a lot on this show, right? As we need to start moving to a SAT standard, man. Because the unit bias, it wrecks a lot of noobs, dude. They see that and they're like, and I saw that with my sister the other day, right? Because I pay her in Bitcoin, and it's by you, Megan. She it gets demoralized. She's like, this is 0.00. In USD, it's a crap ton of money, right? But again, imagine if I told her, hey, Megan, I paid you, 60,000 sats or 600,000 sats, or I'm just giving examples, right? That's a lot more like, oh, I have 600,000 sats. You know what I'm trying to tell you? So I'm really, really bullish on Lightning, and I want more exchanges to move to the SAT standard. I know that CoinMarketCap added, the SAT to US dollar. I know that Cash App has it. I know that Strike has it. I want more of those big shitcoin exchanges that are very predominant also move to a SAT standard as well.
You know that there's a debate, right, between Sats and bits, right, to use bits as the standard.
Why?
I think it's I don't know. This is like an old argument that I should probably go back and revisit. But essentially, I think it's like you get a million. I think it's like 1 million bits per BTC or something like that.
It's the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
I don't know. I mean, look, I don't know if it's that stupid, but like, Sat's the standard, first of all, has a better ring to it, right? And people just... I don't know. I feel like people just intuitively get Sats.
It's easy to understand, dude.
I don't know. Like, it makes sense, right? You got 100 million of them. There you go. You've got a Bitcoin.
Exactly.
Like, why is like, and I forget what the argument was. I think it had to do with like nobody wants to count pennies or something like that. But like, you kind of need a really fine, like, if I think, I don't know. I think if we're going to be the unit of the unit of account, right, for the for the world and the global system, then you should be able to at least go all the way down to those numbers.
Like bits, dude. Like, that's a crappy fucking name. Like, think about it. Like, it's like I'm sending you over some bits, and then it's like, you mean like files? This is like gigabyte.
You mean like Sats?
You could just say Sats. Sats is a unique word, dude. Like Sats. Like, it's not really used anywhere else. Bits could be used, interpreted as something else, dude. Just saying.
It's a very good point, actually.
So good day, man. Lightning Network capacity breaks our fictitious point, so we're gonna add the super cool sound. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. All right, it's not a very in-depth fail necessarily. I got a couple of them though, but here's one that they're both going to be completely unrelated. Both fails nonetheless. Let's dive in. Brian Armstrong, right, CEO of Coinbase, right? If fiat-backed stablecoins really become inflation coins, not so stable, then how will we get a coin that is truly stable? Perhaps something that tracks a basket of real-world goods, purchasing power parity using oracles. What is that bullshit? Like, he just said nothing. Like, why? Why do you need... What is this obsession with useless crap backing money?
He doubled down.
And even if it does have a use case, it's not money. If you can use it as anything other than money, then it's not money. Like, I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. Bitcoin is perfect as a medium of exchange. It makes no sense. And why? And it doesn't have to be backed by a basket of crap. It's backed by the most important thing it can be backed by: energy
and time.
I'm sorry. Like, it's such nonsense, right? And the problem with it is that it validates this pathetic narrative of stable coins. Okay, they're not stable. It's BS. Stable? Why? Why are they stable? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Anyways.
Oh, he keeps going.
Yeah, no, he does. He does keep going, actually. He goes and retweets another person who also has terrible takes, Balagas. All right. Two kinds of stable coins. Excuse me. Two kinds of stable coins. Fiat coins are pegged to an external fiat currency like USD, directly or indirectly. What is that? Flat coins? I guess he meant fiat coins again, are newer. If fiat itself starts to inflate, it isn't really stable, so a fiat coin or a flat coin? I think he means flat coins. Okay, no, that's real. He means he does mean a flat coin, I guess. So a flat coin optimizes instead for price flatness versus an on-chain basket of goods. Do you see the dementia that begins to happen? Like, this is ridiculous garbage,
dude. And I think
this
Alex
is insane, ridiculous garbage.
Look at the meme below, Phil, because that perfectly summarizes. Click on it. It perfectly summarizes why what Brian Armstrong makes absolutely no sense.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can trade my Bitcoin for millions someday? No, Neo. I'm trying to tell you that when you're ready, you won't have to.
Exactly.
And this is why, and don't get me wrong, don't think for a second that Brian Armstrong doesn't understand this. He totally understands this. But he hates Bitcoin. He is such an enemy of Bitcoin. It's amazing, right? If it wasn't for Bitcoin, he really wouldn't be who he is. Like, that's just the truth of the matter, right? And anybody, right? Anybody that gets to enjoy, that type of success in this space really can only attribute it to the very existence of Bitcoin, and he can't do that. And he just can't bring himself to do it. He's another one of these narcissists. It's all about him.
Egomaniacs, man. You're absolutely right. Look at his profile picture. It's just kind of fucking scary, to be honest. Just.
It's creepy.
It's like, I'm a freaking robot. Look, at the end of the day, I still find it absolutely hysterical, and this is probably why he's so butthurt, right? That Coinbase only owns 4,000 Bitcoin. And you compare that to MicroStrategy, which isn't an exchange, right? They're just a publicly traded company. And, last time we checked, Michael Saylor has 114,000 Bitcoin. You compare that to the 4,000 Bitcoin that Coinbase has, and that's pathetic. And it's exactly what Jack said. I forget whose podcast he went on, but essentially, just to summarize, it's like, you made the wrong freaking bet, bro. and he did make the wrong freaking bet, and now he has to deal with all the fiat BS, right, to keep his wrong bet alive, meaning dealing with regulators, having to fly to DC, try to convince him, even though that's a losing battle, because like we've been saying in many episodes, right, governments will shut down the lowest hanging fruits, meaning shitcoins, meaning DeFi, which is really CeFi, meaning stable coins, because at the end of the day, right, it's taking away their power. And if they can shut it down, they will shut it down. So Armstrong is losing a losing battle there. And not only that, right, on that last tweet, Phil, he specifically mentioned oracles, right? One of the biggest problem Ethereum has, right, it has something called the oracle problem. What is the oracle problem? The oracle problem is essentially, let's say you make a bet, right? And the Bitcoin is stuck in multi-sig, and it essentially, the Bitcoin goes to, you could write up a program, write up a script, right, a 2 of 3 multi-sig, and the one of the keys is an oracle, and then it gets to decide, okay, it was Donald Trump that won the election, it was Joe Biden, and the Bitcoin is going to go to the winner, and it still needs the winner, and then the person that holds the other key essentially to sign that transaction. But here's the fundamental problem: it could be corrupted. Why can it be corrupted? Because a human gets to decide, right, who won the election. Now you could make an argument that says, oh, okay, but you could make it so that it could take an average of different websites to make that decision. But again, that could also be corrupted, and this is the reason why, smart contracts have the issue that they're having, right? At the end of the day, they have not been able to figure out or solve the oracle problem. You still have to rely on a human being, therefore it can be corrupted, right? So him saying, oh, we could use oracles to, just go on a basket of goods. Think about it this way. Imagine if that stable coin was worth, it had a market cap of $1 trillion or $2 trillion. You don't think that there's going to be multiple attackers trying to fool those oracles to manipulate the price of that said frickin' stablecoin? Of course there will. And it's funny because Bitcoin already solves this issue by proof of work, right? So it's like he's trying to put a band-aid on top of a band-aid on top of a band-aid on top of a band-aid because he's a fucking shitcoiner. He placed his bet. He fucked up. And man, he's screwed, dude. He should have stuck just to Bitcoin, and there you go. You're left with 4,000 Bitcoin, man, compared to the new kid on the block, Michael Saylor, 114,000 Bitcoin. Brian Armstrong, you look like a fool. You're an enemy of humanity. You're an enemy of Bitcoin, and you're an enemy of freedom. Phil,
this is true. This is very true. Very well said. Okay. So we're gonna move on to the next fail, because I gave my whole spiel while we were scrolling through the the screenshots, and I was making fun of them. So, that was my whole thing.
Dude, I've had so much inner rage, and I've been tweeting about Brian.
Oh yeah,
and then him not even fucking.
This guy sucks, dude.
Not even acknowledging El Salvador. Not even acknowledging. What the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
This guy's nuts.
Anyways.
And you know what? I can also add, Coinbase hired Hack Team. And, for the people who don't know, right, like this company or this group of people was, was already found, to be selling secrets, to different governments and whatnot. Then they ended up hiring them on, right, to do investigations into I guess into their exchange and the transactions and whatnot. Anyways, whatever. It's just such a garbage company. It's just such, what I mean? They incentivize people to shitcoin by teaching them about shitcoins. It's just awful stuff. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next fail, which does have to do with shitcoining. But I think it's more of like an amusing fail. It's an amusing fail. It started off with a tweet from Bitcoinator. We love his not the meme review though, but that's great, huh? I was dying when I saw that. I'm like, what is this about? What is this about? Dave Hoffman.eth, right? Let's take a look at this. Attention all right-click savers. Why isn't my punk on your wall then? So this guy actually printed his avatar and put it on his wall. Yep.
But wait a second. Hold on. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Can't you just take a screenshot of his picture and then just print it out?
Nico, watch this. Boom. I just saved it.
And then you could just send it to a print shop.
This guy, these people, I don't understand. Like, what is the point exactly that he's trying to prove? Like, so you printed an avatar that you paid for. What exactly, like, do you want a medal for this? Like, you think that this proves a point? Like, it's still bullshit. It's still a fucking Beanie Baby. Okay, it's a digital Beanie Baby. I mean, look, I'm sorry, I grew up in the 80s, okay? I saw the card craze. I saw it all happen. Almost every single pack of cards that you opened up, okay? Like, all the cards were quote-unquote worth, $2 and going up, right? And then everybody would go and buy the Beckett price guide the next month to see what the price of the cards were going to be. Like, and of course, they were going up. Try to go sell those cards. You were never able to get the price that was ever listed in the price guide, okay? It was such a scam, Anyways, you know what? This, to me, this is the digital version, and of course, it's worldwide, right? So, the impact is way bigger. You've got more people, and let's face it, right? Everybody wants to get rich quick. That's what happens. And you think to yourself, why not me? Right? So you go and you buy one of these useless JPEGs, and again, right, if you're just a collector and you like having JPEGs and you for some reason want to spend your money on it, go ahead, but make no mistake, you are not going to retire off these stupid pictures. That's not what happens. That's not how this happens. Okay? Like, the average person isn't buying a whole bunch of JPEGs and retiring off of them. Sorry. Like, they're just not. Like, there's a couple of people that they're showing you, right? Like, they show you examples. It's really not that difficult though, right? They show you examples of people making money off of NFTs, and then everybody thinks they can make money off of NFTs, right? Like, do you think, like,
if those people are actually making money and they're not just laundering money,
who's gonna buy this shit from you? Who's really gonna buy this shit from you? Like, don't get me wrong, like, but why do you think your stupid JPEG is gonna be like relevant in 20 years when millions of other people have made millions of other JPEGs? Like, it just. I'm sorry, like, I just don't see it.
Of which you could just take a screenshot or right-click, save as, and you could send that to millions of print companies that want your business. Say, hey, could you print this out for me? Like,
I mean, I just right-clicked it myself. Like, that's it, Like, that's now I've got it too.
You know what, Phil? Listen, okay.
You know what he'll tell you? He'll tell you, well, it's not print quality.
Okay, hold on a second. That's
important.
Send me that JPEG. I'm gonna do something bold. Okay, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna print it. You send me that image. I'm gonna print it, and we're gonna show it on tomorrow's show.
This is great. Hold on here. I'm actually sending it to you right now so I don't forget.
Got it. Okay. All right. Yep. Well,
boom. Here we go.
We're going to pull up his his proud tweet, and we're going to show you a printed image to show you that it's all garbage. But anyways, listen, in all seriousness, dude, look, this reminds me of, and Phil, we both lived through this, of the 2017 ICO boom. Okay? Everything needed to be tokenized. It was Lemonade coin, Lemonade this, Lemonade that. The shitcoiners figured out that, okay, we can't steal people's money that way, right? So now they've migrated to another scheme, which is the NFTs. And like Gigi said yesterday, you know, the attacks are just getting less and less sophisticated and just more absurd, so that only the most gullible people are gonna fall for that. But man, dude, it's like these people are fucking crazy. It's like if you could right click. Okay, listen, and I'm gonna pull up an image so you guys understand. Getty Images, which is like the source where all newspaper publications, they get their files from. Okay, so you know, if they take a picture of presidents, politicians, anything, right? They use Getty Images. Getty Images, you go there and it's high quality pictures. But you know what they do to make sure that you don't just take a screenshot or save click? You know what they do? They put a giant ass watermark. And they say, we will remove the watermark once you pay us the money for the image. Right? So again, dude, it's just so freaking ridiculous. But, you know, hopefully people learn their lesson. They pay the price of tuition. They find the truth, and of course, the truth is Bitcoin. But anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review, sponsored by
Citadel 21.
All right, John Diedrich, you sent us this meme a very long time ago, June 24th. Finally getting to it, man. Better late than never. We apologize. But anyways,
September.
I'm sorry, okay?
Suck, man. What is that?
Hey, listen, it's better late than never. Check out this meme. It's Bitcoin, Nayib Bukele, the crack in the dam, and the fiat monetary system. Amazing meme by a fellow plebe. Definitely go give him a follow at John Diedrich. You know Nico can't read, so you guys get it. That guy. So yeah, dude, it's not like a laughing meme, but I think it's very indicative of you know, it represents exactly what's going on right now. You know, El Salvador, you know, being that Bitcoin is legal tender alongside the US dollar is going to highlight the failures of the fiat system, the failures of the dollar, right? Because essentially how it is set up now, every time the US government prints, right? Yes, Americans get poorer, but the rest of the world gets poorer. Any government that holds massive amounts of US dollars, and there's a lot of them, right? So, yeah, man, amazing meme. But Phil, I'm gonna let you give the meme review first.
I came prepared. You know what? Yeah, I definitely it is. It's like you said. It's not one of those like laugh out loud memes, right? But like it's very symbolic. And hey, take a look, right? That meme was June 24th, and look where we are today, right? El Salvador actually has, you know, Bitcoin has legal tender, and it looks like that dam is starting to, you know, have cracks in it. So that meme maybe needs a revamp. But anyways, I am going with my trusty network cable crimper, and because it's green, it fades right into the screen in the back, so it looks really cool.
Dude, I know exactly what those things do.
Yep.
And man, it's a pain in the ass when it doesn't work.
Right.
But yeah, dude, for that meme, Phil, I'm gonna give it a very special score. I don't think you guys will be able to handle this. Caps lock.
Caps lock.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. Caps lock everything.
Everything.
I love it.
Everything has to be capitalized letters. Everything.
Why are you yelling at me?
I don't know.
Stop yelling.
I don't know. Funny thing is that we actually do this. I send you messages like, Phil, we need to post.
Stop yelling.
All capital. But yeah, man. Awesome scores. The caps lock, which is a very famous key, and a network cable cruncher thing. Cripper, which I actually love to crip, but then the moment of truth is when you plug in that internet cable to see if you did it right. Yep. But awesome scores from that awesome meme by John Diedrich. Guys, we want to know, do you agree with our scores? Do you disagree? Let us know down in the comment. Review the meme, rate the meme, let us know. And of course, yeah.
I feel like you butchered his name.
I'm sorry.
Johan, I think it's Johan de Griebik.
De Griebik.
Sorry, we both just destroyed your name. I tried, Johan. I tried, man.
We tried, bro. We tried.
Yeah, we both tried.
And of course, guys, join our Telegram group. Link us some memes to review, because it's a meme review. And we need memes by Bitcoin plebes to review, because it's a meme review. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
Cryptos are not currencies, full stop. Cryptos are highly speculative assets that claim their fame as currency, possibly, but they're not. They are not. I think we have to distinguish between cryptos that are those highly speculative, suspicious occasionally, and high intensity in terms of energy consumption assets, but they're not a currency.
All right. So,
not a currency.
First thing I want to say, okay, first things first, right, is you see her face? That's
sure did.
That's called fear. That is called fear. When you have to tell people, right, that something is not a currency, even though it's being used. And she had a Freudian slip. You know, she said specifically, she's like, it's not a currency. Perhaps.
That claim their fame as currency, possibly.
Maybe. You know, and then, right, pay attention, right? There's a lot of signal there, right? As that she's using the same rhetoric, right, that Jerome Powell's using, right? That Bitcoin and shitcoins are only used for illicit activity, she said suspicious, and, of course, the energy narrative, right? Which is Bitcoin uses too much energy. We've debunked that many times. But most importantly, Phil, before I get your thoughts, right, you have to understand that she is posing, right, as someone, a respected person, someone of authority, right, and that Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin, not even shitcoins, Bitcoin is this somehow, you know, you see it in the IMF's, you know, tweets of this privately issued currency. They are projecting, okay? Fiat currencies are, you could essentially say they're privately issued, they're opaque. We don't know what's going behind the scenes at the European Central Bank. We don't know what's going on with behind the scenes at the Fed. There's this giant movement for many years. It was audit the Fed. Whatever happened to that? No one cares, right? So it's this projection, right? And let me show you an example of that projection, right? Check out this article, right? IMF Christine Lagarde convicted of financial negligence. And, you know, her penalty was so bad that she got a promotion from the International Monetary Fund to the European Central Bank. Anyways, let's check out the article. Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund at the time, this is the funniest part, Phil, you ready? The organization that aims to promote better financial governance and economic stability around the world, was convicted by a special French court on December 19th on charges of negligence by a person in position of public authority, accused of allowing the misuse of public funds. Again, projection. You saw the vitriol in her voice. Bitcoin is not a currency, full stop. You don't get to determine what this is craziness. You don't get to determine what is a currency or not. You know what gets to determine what is a currency or not? The free fucking market. And you know what the free fucking market has decided? Because I've spoken to many people in Venezuela. We've seen the news from Nigeria. It has decided that Bitcoin is a goddamn currency. And not only is it a goddamn currency, it's also a store of value as well, right? Because if it wasn't a currency, then people wouldn't accept Bitcoin for their goods and services. So Christine Lagarde, no matter which world you live in, right, you're not saying something that is real. Of course it's a currency. It's being used as a currency. In fact, it was just be declared legal tender in El Salvador. So you don't get to decide that. But it shows you how crazy these central bankers are. These Keynesian economic central bankers, that they believe they know what's best for everybody else, right? Look, and she was a convicted criminal. It's not just saying this. It says in the article, right? Accused of allowing the misuse of public funds rather than the actual corruption. You see what they do? Rules for thee, but not for me, right? If you're a banker, Central, same thing happened in 2008. No banker went to jail, and Main Street had to bail them out. This is why Bitcoin was created. It says it in the Genesis block. It says Chancellor on the brink of the second bailout for banks. Bitcoin was literally created for this fucking bullshit. Because it's literally, the elites don't play on the same levels that us peasants do. Or like we like to call ourselves, plebs, deplorables, whatever word. Anyways, Lagarde faced the prospect, check this out, Phil. Lagarde faced the prospect of being sentenced to a year in prison and a fine of $15,000. Though found guilty, there have been no punitive measures, not even a criminal record. Lagarde has kept her job, kept her freedom, kept her money, and largely kept her reputation intact, and got a promotion to the European Central Bank, even though she was found guilty of a crime. But of course, it's Bitcoin. And you want to know why it's Bitcoin? Because these evil ass mother effing people are projecting what it is themselves. Phil?
She's just a paid mouthpiece. Did you notice how many times she said that Bitcoin that it wasn't a currency, right? She, like, pretty much her whole entire argument was saying that 3 times and then explaining how criminals use it. But yet we've already shown the receipts that criminals much rather use cash. So, and not only that, but when really big crime is involved, the best thing you can do is use the banking system. So, sorry, not sorry. I mean, look, you've shown her, her arrest record, and look, you see what happens, right? Like you said, rules for thee and not for me. Look at what happened. She got absolutely nothing. Who else would get that and get to keep everything? She owes big time, okay? Like, this is one of those creatures I'm telling you about, Nico, that they essentially, right, that they reanimate and bring to life. That she is literally one of those creatures.
She's a vampire.
Yep, 100% she's a vampire.
Man, she actually does look like a goddamn vampire now.
Because, if there is an escape, that escape will be used.
We're crazy, no. I'm not talking about, like, that they drink blood or anything like that. That's not what's happening. We're talking about, like, financial, monetary vampires. Okay? Like, these people are sucking the life out of everyone by essentially devaluing our time with their utter stupidity and corruption. Anyways.
But they definitely, they drink the souls of people, like,
yeah,
for sure.
Metaphorically, 100%. Yes.
No, but actually,
but not in the way we think. It's not like Hollywood would have you believe, right? Like Hollywood, like the second they show you a vampire, right? You picture that they're drinking blood and stuff, and it becomes all funny inside your head. But there's like actual people that are freaking vampires.
No, but I'm talking about, she definitely sucks the soul out of people, like, Harry Potter. Like, yeah. She goes at night, like a creature, she's like, inflation, and sucks it up out of people.
Now
like,
your money's worthless.
For sure.
Work.
All right, just want to emphasize, guys, that's a joke. We're kidding. But what Phil said, yeah, they're parasites, and vampires is a good word for that. Anyways, moving on. Check this out, Phil. Dude, the opposition parties and their allies with the mainstream media are making this Bitcoin law a huge ruckus in El Salvador, right? Protesters set fire to a Chivo point and ATM in the center of the capital of San Salvador in El Salvador. Part of the failure with the implementation of the Chivo wallet has given strengths to opponents of the Bitcoin, right? So, this has been a law for what, a week. We've shown you the receipts. Around 11% of the country already has downloaded the app. I wouldn't really consider that a failure. If 11% of your entire population downloads it the day of, and again, what is this app actually doing? It's potentially saving El Salvadorians up to 30% in remittance fees, right? Now they pay pennies on the dollar. And not only that, Phil, the Chivo app literally gave every El Salvadorian $30 of free Bitcoin. Right. So, again, this is highly political, and I'll get to the receipts in a second. And the reason it's highly political is the opposition groups are trying to find whatever weakness, whatever point of weakness to try to attack Nayib Bukele. Right. And here's the thing. They have all the mainstream media propaganda arm propping them up and giving them the coverage. Right. But anyways, let's check out the video. So again, just Chivo, brand new, right? We've shown you pictures, beautiful locations. The protesters went up there. They went to go hit it. But what I find interesting is that everyone's just standing around, not protesting.
Yeah, nobody's actually watching.
They're just filming, right? So very weird, right? And of course, the mainstream media propaganda fiat arm, is first to say Bitcoin protests in El Salvador against Bitcoin as legal tender, right? And again, thousands of protesters, right? This is a country, of millions of people, thousands, right? Right, you have right here, it says, thousands of protesters have taken to the streets in El Salvador, angry at the introduction of Bitcoin as legal law. Right, here is more pictures. Right, again, remember what I told you guys about the zoomed in pictures? There it is. It's a zoomed in picture. It doesn't show the massive of crowds, right? And now here's the thing. Here are the receipts, right? I told you, I promised you the receipts, right? It says Bukele is a dictator. Again, Bitcoin is not obligatory. He's mentioned many times, if you want to continue using the dollar as your unit of account, you don't have to download the Chivo app, right? And if you want to continue paying Western Union up to 30% in fees, that's your prerogative. But anyways, here are the receipts, right? I did a little bit of research, of what's going on here. Who is this lady, right? And as you can see here, the two license plates, match essentially. Here is the two opposition parties in El Salvador. It's Arena, which is a center-right party, and the FMLN is a socialist communist party, and they are the ones passing out the no Bitcoin, right? So again, caught red-handed, right? These are the opposition really behind these things, and all these people that are breaking all these Chivo locations, they don't actually know what they're doing. They're being propped up by the two opposition parties in El Salvador. They want Nayib Bukele to fail, right? And of course, they have the full support of the giant legacy media establishment all around the West that we've been covering. They want this Bitcoin experiment to fail, right? Here is more, right? Here is another confirmation, right? Here are pictures of essentially the protests that happened, right? No more dictator, don't rewrite the Constitution, stuff like that, right? And here is, terrorist groups, right? And is talking about the opposition parties, right? Here's another video.
Hey, dale otra vez, por favor.
So they're covering their faces. They're not really showing, who they are. And let me show you a little bit about the actual situation, the political situation in El Salvador, to kind of break it down even more, right? Here is, the Communist Party, right? Doesn't really have a stellar record. A lot of, they were a guerrilla movement at one point, accused when they were in power, they were accused of high corruption, which is one of the reasons that Nayib Bukele was elected in the first place, right? But if you look at their political power in the Legislative Assembly of El Salvador, it's minimal, right? It's minimal, right? You move on to the other political party, right, Arena, right, which is, the other mainstream political party before Nayib Bukele's political party took place in El Salvador, right? Again, they don't really have that many seats, right? So you could see why they don't want this Bitcoin law and Nayib Bukele to succeed, right? And here is the presidential election of 2019, right? There is Nayib Bukele. He won by a pretty large margin, 53%. Now look at the opposition parties that are what in the United States we would call the establishment, right? So again, people wanted something new. It's even in the political party name of Nayib Bukele, Nuevas Ideas, which means new ideas in Spanish, right? Now let's take a look at a history of the El Salvadorian elections, right? Again, you have the Communist Party, and then you kind of have the center-right party, right? Before that, 2009, you have the Left Party, then you have the Center Party. 2004, again, you have the Center Party, the FML Party. What happened here, right, was that people got sick and tired of the establishment, so they tried something new because they were sick and tired of the old ideological traits of the previous century. They were tired of this socialism versus capitalism versus whatever versus BS, right? We're heading into the information age, a new age where those political ideologies, they don't really make sense anymore, right? But listen, I also brought more receipts. Okay, because all you're seeing here when you're seeing all these images of protests, right? Of essentially the actual political parties handing out, the shirts and the signs of which people to protest, right? You have this article, right, saying like, oh my God, this is horrible. Bitcoin protests in El Salvador against Bitcoin as legal tender. I love how they say cryptocurrency. No, Bitcoin, right? They have this picture of the no al Bitcoin. They have all this. But let me remind you, Nayib Bukele is ranked number 1 in approval rating out of all of Latin America, right? Check this out. September 2nd, 2021, 7.61 out of 10. August 18th, 87%. July 6th, ranked number 1 in Latin American presidents, 84% approval rating. Gavadia University, 8.79 out of 10. UCA, 92%. La Prensa Gráfica, 86.5% approval rating. Heads of state approval, number 1. Gallup, 98%. Okay. My point is, right, is that what they're trying to show you, right, as what's going on is not really indicative of the actual situation, right? And if you look at this, right, essentially Nayib Bukele's party destroyed the existing establishment that has been in power for decades, right? They wanted to try something new. Therefore, he's a threat to the system, right? This is a guy that doesn't mind going on Twitter, and posting a little teardrop, right, when the IMF is, trying to bash Bitcoin, right? He's a threat to that. And these two people, I suspect, because they're such old political parties, what we would call in the United States, they were controlled opposition, right? So I know there's a very complex subject, but I'm trying to point a picture, right, to counter the narrative of the mainstream media that there's thousands of people so upset about the Bitcoin law in El Salvador, when in the reality is that Nayib Bukele is one of the most popular presidents on the face of the planet. Just to give you a frame of reference, Joe Biden has less than 49%. At Donald Trump at its heyday, at his, at the top of his, presidency, I think he had, maybe mid-50s. Right? You're talking about a man that has 76 on the lowest, all the way up to 93% approval rating, right? So is he really a threat to democracy? Are these protests really actually legitimate? They're protesting something that's going to save them millions of dollars that they don't have to use if they don't want to in remittance fees alone. Right? So I'm trying to break down the psyop because they're trying to paint a picture of something that really isn't true. And of course, That is because Nayib Bukele's decision to make Bitcoin legal tender is a threat to the system. It's a threat to Christine Lagarde. And that's exactly why she's so petrified in the first video that we played. Phil?
Dude, beautiful job putting together everything. That is absolutely fantastic. Those two other candidates, those guys are just ready and willing to take whatever the IMF, whatever crumbs the IMF is willing to give them to do this. You know, it's interesting that they show thousands of people and stuff like that, but really all I really saw was like a small crowd that wasn't really paying attention and like a couple of people trying to create a demonstration. Like that looks like it is so, I'm sorry, but it just looks so completely staged. And of course it is, right? It is totally staged. I mean, look, you know, you showed the receipts, right? You showed the popularity and everything like that, you know, of the current government. I mean, look, these people, right? Like the central bankers, they've known full well that they are not required. So imagine that, right? Like imagine that you know full well that you're really not needed and that you're most likely the source of the problem. They're not going down without a fight. You know, they've got the, like we were saying before, jokingly, right? But not so jokingly, you know, they've got the vampires, you know, like Christine Lagarde, like Stanky, you know, and Nouriel Roubini and all these other fools, right? That, you know, that come out and do their bidding, right? They come out, they throw the FUD all around for everything to just get everyone confused, right? Everybody gets confused, everyone gets upset. That's exactly what they want. Look, that's exactly what it is that they're trying to create. I've never seen, and I was actually digging through part of that article, right? Looking at the related articles. Do you see the related articles that they even show in that article? Like how Bitcoin is such a massive disaster. It's like, you have got to be shitting me. I mean, you know what? This should tell everybody that we are on the right track. Oh yeah, here we go. There you go. You know, like fear and excitement. But there was another one also. I don't know. Maybe it was a different.
It's like, here's the thing, dude. It's like El Salvador divided over Bitcoin law, right?
It's like, that's not even true. It's not even true. Like,
and I showed you, like, look at the political powers. Okay. Yeah, that's not division, okay? That's not division. These are minority parties that they've had essentially they were a two-party system, you know, similar to the United States, that were in power for decades. People got fed up and they wanted to try something new. That came with Nayib Bukele, that came with his, essentially, because it's what it is now, he placed a bet on Bitcoin, and it's a threat to the status quo, right? Those old parties were controlled opposition. They were able to be controlled by the IMF and the World Bank. And now that's no longer the case, right? So you got the mainstream media propaganda arm, you got the financial vampires coming out saying, oh, Western Union is better, you know, and all that stuff. And yeah, man, but look, guys, we expected this. Nayib Bukele even said it, you know, get ready for the FUD, you know, so they're not just going to hand over the keys, you know, so, but here's the thing, guys, and here's the secret weapon, okay? Because number go up technology does something very beautiful. In 4 years' time, in the next halving, the year after 2024, which is the halving 2025, when Bitcoin historically, that's when it goes up, Nayib Bukele and Michael Saylor and all those very, very brave, you know, because they're pioneers, right? Nayib Bukele, in the sense that he's the head of a nation state, and Michael Saylor, a giant public company, right? They are going to look like absolute geniuses. And then, you know, we showed you the dam breaking and the meme review. That goddamn break is that goddamn dam is just going to go, and all other countries are going to follow suit, right? Because they're going to see the deficiencies of holding the dollar. They're going to see the benefits of NGU technology. And no matter what Christine Lagarde and Steve Hanke have to say, Number go up technology does a lot more talking. It actually shows you, the benefits of Bitcoin rather than any type of false rhetoric and BS that they're trying to peddle. So yeah. Anyways, Phil, there was a software release today. Why don't you show everybody?
Software releases. All right, we've got Nix Bitcoin version 0.0.51 that was released. That is a Bitcoin node based on the Nix OS. Check it out down below in the show notes.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to our amazing sponsors. Check out CryptoCloaks.com for the best 3D printed merch. Get yourself a Bitcoin grenade. Now Rick's made an even bigger Bitcoin grenade. Get yourself a 3D printed honey badger as well. You can get them in all different sorts of sizes, everything. Get 5% off anything on the store with the link down below. And of course, check out Citadel 21, the Bitcoin cultural zine. It's written by plebs, for plebs. Phil and I have written articles for them. You'll find so many good stories of Bitcoiners telling their experiences, going down the rabbit hole, and what Bitcoin means to them. Get yourself a physical copy. There's only 1,000 made. Citadel21.com. And of course, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash the like button. And if you want to continue hearing the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective and the catastrophic fails from the financial vampires, Steve Hanke, definitely consider subscribing, and we will see you tomorrow, guys, for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.
The IMF is a clown college.